We've all had at least one of those clients, right? The one who thinks that you're available 24/7, doesn't care how they contact you, and wants a response immediately. Yes, we've probably all had at least one of those. Social media managers, you get to choose who you work with. You are a business owner, you get to choose your clients, but that doesn't mean you might end up with a client who chooses to ignore your communication boundaries. It happens, and a lot of the time it can be solved with just a quick reminder, a gentle reminder to reinforce those boundaries. Maybe they forgot, maybe something came up, they felt like it was an emergency. It happens. But if you find yourself in a situation where your clients are constantly going over your boundaries, they're constantly using different communication channels, trying to contact you at all hours of the day, and not quite understanding that you don't have to be available 24/7 by any means possible, here's some things that you can do to help in this situation. So, first, I want you to take a step back, take a deep breath. This can be very stressful to go through. It can be very challenging. You want to be there for your client, you want to help them. Maybe you need that income coming in. You want to impress them, add them to your portfolio, whatever that may be. Let's just take a moment to decompress because we're going to find a way through this. You are able to work with whoever you want to. You get to choose your clients. You don't have to say yes to everyone. This is something I learned the hard way. And when I first started my business, I was saying yes to every client because, oh, it was amazing. I had another client. That meant I was making more every month. I was able to grow my team and grow my agency. But it ended up burning us in the end. I took on some clients who weren't ideal. They were constantly trying to get a hold of us. They constantly ignored our boundaries, and we ended up spending way more time on them, where it practically cost us money to take them as a client. So learn from my mistakes, be very selective as to who you take as clients, make sure they're aligned with you and your business. But back to what this video is all about: working with clients when they're ignoring your preferred communication channels. So, what does that mean? When you are onboarding a new client, you should let them know your preferred communication channels. How can they get a hold of you? Do you want them to email you? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to text you, send you a Slack, a WhatsApp, whatever it may be? You get to set those restrictions and those boundaries for how that client should be communicating you to make sure that you can effectively see that communication and get back to them in a timely manner. They might have the same preferred channels or different channels. So you can work with them at the beginning to figure out what's going to work best for the both of you. So something I'm open about with a lot of my clients is that phone is probably the worst way to get a hold of me. I am usually in meetings or I'm doing something and I'm not able to answer the phone. So that's not my preferred communication channel. Email is better. I am not amazing at emails, and that's something that I will always admit, but it is better. I like that we're able to keep track of everything, follow up with things, but my preferred channel when a client needs to get a hold of me right away is text. And that's something that I tell them right away, that that's going to be the best way to get a hold of me because I know that that's where I'm best at responding. But sometimes they forget, sometimes things come up, sometimes their first reaction is a different communication channel. So here's what you can do. I've had clients before who call me over everything. They'll call me to ask a question, call me to see if we have something scheduled, call me for this. And in those instances, I have to remind them that that is not my preferred communication channel, and I won't be available to answer those questions by call. And they understood. It worked out well. Once I was able to reinforce that boundary with them, you could kind of tell that they remembered what we had talked about in the beginning, but we had been working together for, I think, 2 years at that point. So it was just a nice refresher moment. So don't be afraid to remind them. You can also respond to them on your preferred channel. So let's say your preferred channel is an email and they've texted you. whatever they've asked in that text or whatever you are going to respond in an email versus back in that text. That way you are also staying true and strong to your communication boundaries. But if this keeps happening or you don't really know what to say, what we've done is prepared some scripts for you so that you kind of have an outline of what you can say when this comes up. So the first one is just a friendly reminder. Just very kind, very simple, let them know. I notice we've been communicating through this non-preferred channel. Could we switch it back to your preferred channel? It helps me to keep everything organized and to respond to you more promptly. So right there, you've told them your preferred channel, you've addressed the boundary they're stepping over and how it can benefit them. If you want to keep it more benefit-based, explain the benefits. So you could say something like, using this preferred channel for our communication ensures nothing gets missed, and then it allows me for more efficient project management. If you have a team, you could also let them know that this is where the whole team has access to that so that they get an even more prompt response. Or that way it's all organized in one central place for everybody who's working on their file. Now, the last one really just helps to reinforce those boundaries. So with that last one, what you could say is, to ensure I can provide the best service, I need to insist that we use preferred channel for all work-related communications. It helps in managing our workflow effectively. So this one is something I would say is a little bit more strict and to the point. So that's for someone who maybe is stepping over it a few times and you really have to insist going back to that channel. So all of these messages are really quick, but try them if you're finding that your clients are using non-preferred communication channels. Also, don't be afraid to insist. You can set your ground, you can decide how you want to work, but make sure that you're responding to that client in a thoughtful manner. You don't want to be rude. You want them to understand where you're coming from. And just to really reiterate, if they are communicating to you through unpreferred channels, respond to them through those preferred channels, and that can help get you back into the groove for working together with these clients. So what other boundaries do you feel like your clients might be overstepping? What other boundaries would you like some scripts for? Comment below and make sure to subscribe so you can come back and see those scripts and get some more information. You and me, I say